I'm just going to fall down. Okay.
I can do it on the side you can. Are we live?
Things go green. There should be a green button at the bottom there. Yeah, it looks like we're up and running. It looks like we're good. Introduce yourself or whatever. Yeah.
Good morning, gang.
Who is this masked man?
Taryn's here for the bath, yeah, that's right.
So,
actually, we've already started. We've got two out
we've pulled an all-nighter. We've already done 1,000 of these, if you believe that. Whoa, they're coming off. Tell us, we're up and running here.
Super easy, yeah, sliding off.
Hey, where have we seen this image before? Anybody recognize this one? Chocolate egg, you're the first person who recognizes this one. Also interesting, look at this. See the circle?
Is that where the glue was?
That's where the glue was. And because the paper's wet, it's still hugely visible. And at this point, it looks like, oh my God, we've destroyed this print. But it will be absolutely invisible once she's dry.
Good morning from Finland. Good morning. Do we have a bin for the discarded paper?
It's called a sink. Look at that, one floated off without even noticing it.
So how long were they in? They were about 8 minutes? And they just started floating off, right?
Yeah. And we can start, Townsend, you can start moving those because there's not benefit from sitting there too long. So once the first batch here, just move them over and keep going. Right, thank you. All right, this one's starting as well. Here we go, look at this.
Oh, the big one?
Yeah. They just float off, look at this. And of course, this is where I got in trouble the other day. I had one that was very weak paper, and as I was rubbing the glue off the corner, I pulled it off. So we'll try and be more careful today. Okay, this is, yeah, Laura, here we go.
So you're rubbing that on the back of the paper?
Either way, this one, either way. Here we go, here we go. Over to you, sir. Good, good. This is super delicate stuff now.
Okay.
So, Suki-san, say hello to the camera there. Over here. So, over here. Here, here, here. Suki-san desu.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. ハロハロ久しぶりだからやってんだ
そう
はいはいはいはいはい
このグループは明治時代の手本です
お風呂だお風呂
お風呂そう
お風呂
杉さん、今日は何すりますか？
今日は、サブスクリプションの地炭をすります今日は
大変ですね
はい、今日は地炭なのできっちりバッチリ
She's doing the January, February print from next year's series
そうそう
Key blocks today
Key blocks, so it's nobody, no interruptions
I'll stay away
そう
頑張ります
始まったらもう話せない
It's like when you uncover Jack's drawing in the Titanic Yeah
What's this?
Yeah, the picture in the Titanic when it's floating You know I don't know if you watched the Titanic
You mean the movie?
Yeah
No, I've never seen it, I'm sorry is there a...
Oh, there's a drawing of he does and then it floats in the water
Okay, this was the purple. We talked about reds and purples. This is totally okay. You see the purplish color? It doesn't have that aniline dye, so there's no...
So what's the name of the red that actually is a problem?
Well, I don't know about names of them. I know vermilion itself, shuiro, is really trouble among the traditional Japanese colors. Then when you get to the Meiji time, there's those aniline dyes that came from Germany that got used, and they dissolve instantly. To put one of those prints in means the water goes red or purple instantly. I don't have any here to show, but...
That's a blessing. Warning kids, don't try this at home yet. Stay away.
The mods are telling everybody every 5 minutes, yes, please do, please do, please do. And you can switch cameras on if you like, Terrence, on to show what's going on the desk here. You know how to switch those two. It'll go back and forth if you need to. Yeah.
So just keep flipping them.
Yeah, just keep moving them around, yeah, bit by bit. And once any individual piece of newspaper gets too wet, just toss it, grab a new sheet, and just keep moving them.
Sorry, question. In Japanese, what are these? These prints are gorgeous. How are they called? Which ones? These small ones? These would be match label prints. We've got a bunch of different kinds, haven't we?
There's only two groups today. There's the match label prints, and then there's the larger ones here are what they call tehon. They're painting, painting sample pictures. They would be used by kids in school as models for practicing brush painting. Actually, with two of us here, we're going to be cooking with gas today, man. This is going to be roaring.
Maybe we need some more. The air is dry today. They can dry quickly. These small ones, there's not much moisture left in them. Still wet, but Taryn used to have a different haircut. Yeah, I snipped it off.
You got cut short? For because of work or something, or just
for a change.
Usually it's summertime people cut it short. Okay, here we go. How many else come on camera?
Let's get back in the bath. Delicate.
Have we got a landing zone? Where? Here.
Here.
Hey.
That's right, Tehon, handbook. So once these are drying face down, so it doesn't stick.
Once they get to the stage where it sort of starts to be sticky, if there is any glue left on the back. But the Tehon ones don't have any glue at the back. They've just been glued around the edge. The time we might get in danger today is these little ones have that dab of glue in the middle. And if we just throw those into a drying board like they are, they will stick to the drying board. But these larger ones shouldn't. There's nothing sticky left. Here we go. That's all coming out. Excuse me. Oh, actually, it's not on the edge. Let me put that back. No, nobody can see it. Let me move the camera just a second here.
Ah, they can't see you squeezing the water out.
Yeah. So if I put just a sec. If I move the camera a little bit there. Okay. Thin. It's like wet toilet paper. Not quite that weak, but my God, it's weak. Here we go. And this is more the part that sort of don't try at home. Actually, I'm going to put that back. There's still stuff stuck on the edge.
You mean pulling it a bit too quick and that's when it rips? It sticks to the side.
But what I meant was, as printers, we have experience handling soft, wet paper. It's what we do all day, every day. But a normal person, or me before I became a printer, or Taransan's not a printer, I don't know. Holding wet paper, how do you hold it? Not to put stress on it and tear it. I don't know.
I think my first print, I'd heard so much about pushing with the Baron, like the old printers really using their foot and everything. I was doing an Ichimonji Bokashi and I just put the Baron straight through the paper.
Too much pressure.
It was too wet as well. Yeah. It's difficult. But I am no printer.
We saw this the other day too.
The
red's transferred. It's been glued on it for so long. The red has transferred to the paper, But we're not getting any, so far today. I'm not seeing any red blurring.
These seem stable. And the mic is okay? It doesn't flake
There's
up?
one in here right now.
This one you
this
just
one.
took out.
Oh, did it take it off? Okay. Well, then let's when that gets a bit dry, then let's show people. There's also what did we do? There was one that had lots of karizuri. Did we set it aside or what did we do with it?
Let me find out.
There was a crane or something that had lots of embossing. Oh, this one's fun.
Okay, great.
The era we're looking at here, this is pre-war. This is, the rest of this series is Showa 9 or Showa 10, 1930s. So look at this. We have a gentleman with a sword against the English and the American.
Looking like two gorillas.
Yeah, but also look too now. This one's gonna see can you see it? Does it show? It's already blurred. We haven't put this in the water yet, but the red is already blurring out. Even when they were printing it, it blurred.
So do you think that's smudge?
It's going to smudge.
Should we leave that for maybe the last and we can test it?
Well.
Leave it as is.
I mean, the question is, am I going to make it any worse? It already is a bit blurred. If I get it in there quickly and bring it out quickly, it won't be much worse. I'm going to put it back in. I'm going to put it in.
That's already been in the water?
No, it hasn't been in. Hasn't been in. So. But it's going to blur a bit more. But just so we know, it's not completely from what we're doing here. It was blurred before we start. Let's try it. Just remind me to keep an eye on it.
Okay. Stream frozen. It's showing green over here.
Drop frames.
No, we're okay. It's fine, right? Okay, cool. Keep these moving.
We are not on Wi-Fi this morning. We are wired in Ethernet. Some of the stuff, we've got this paper we're taking out of this thing. And I'm throwing it away because actually it isn't useless to us. But sometimes the paper on the back is nice washi.
So you can recycle
And we
more
keep
paper?
it. No, we keep it for printing. You've got Meiji era paper, 100-year-old paper. Wash the glue off it, and we can print with it. The stuff today it's not washi. It's just junk, like pulpy junk stuff. So it's not any use whatsoever for making prints. But this is sort of a source of old.
If the paper's good on the back, though, why is it in the bath in the first place?
This is not because it's not nice washy paper. It's pulp paper.
But
it's staining these prints.
You could use the paper off the back.
Well, if it was good paper.
Yeah.
If they had back with washi.
Take it off if it is nice paper.
Okay, in that case, no, we wouldn't be doing that. Maybe these ones, it's coming off because these prints are going. You can see them. They're going hugely brown. We should be changing this. We don't need. We should be changing and throw it away and change and throw it away. I don't even the first throw down here, a couple of minutes or even a minute, it's off. It's not helping now.
Okay.
But just get rid of the paper and flip it and then toss it. Flip it and toss it. Yeah, I see your point now. These clearly, you can see what's happened. The brown on them is coming through the backing paper, and the part where they were glued down has stayed white.
Dave's a slave driver. No, he's not. He's fine. I'm learning. Check the red dot. Good point.
Where's the red dot? Oh, you mean the one I put in? The Here we are. I can't get it off yet. It's too soon. There's no way it's going to come off yet.
Is it smudged more?
Nope, not that I can see.
Yes, it looks fine. No, Japanese paper doesn't bleach.
Newspaper. Hey.
Had you not heard that, what I was saying the other day?
You
about the
mentioned about
2017?
date. So, to bring me up to date, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So that's what Asuka-sensei said. He's been storing paper for years, newspaper.
Storing newspaper is it goes brown after a couple of years. What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. He's got stacks and stacks of
Okay.
newspaper. And he doesn't use, for the actual ones in contact with the paper, you've got a few layers, right? So anything past 2017 goes on the top or the very bottom. And then anything touching the prints, he uses pre-17.
Because there's a change in the way they were made back then?
There was a change in the ink, apparently.
Okay, well, everything we're using here is 2022, 2021, and I've never, ever seen the slightest transfer. I don't know. If you know something I don't know, wonderful, but I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's just caution. He knows it was changed and he's familiar with the old ones.
Okay. What, they're changing to a soy ink or something to be ecological, you know?
Yeah, he didn't say much about it, actually. I'm not too sure what the actual change was. I just know that there was a change in the formula. But if you're not having a problem, then it doesn't seem to really be an issue. This sheet. Let's see what it should say. Carefully aged newspaper, yeah, like a fine wine. We answer the Sosaku stuff.
Pardon me?
These are Sosaku hangers.
I know it's just a bunch of things mixed in there. It was a bunch of albums that I bought and took apart. This is new paper now. This is not old Meiji paper. This is some new collector in the 1960s, 70s, or 80s or something who got a bunch of the old prints and pasted them in. And it's a real mix. There's sets that are broken up and mixed together and way too soon on that one. Way too soon. You go sit for a while.
Yeah, 30 degrees.
About. I don't know how accurate it is. It's okay for me to.
Yeah, nice to have your hands soaking in hot water. It's cold here this morning.
It's not so bad. It's been
Not
worse
as bad
last
as
week. So.
yeah. Oh yeah, you do need to be careful. The middle of these stick a little bit.
Yeah,
If you leave them too long.
yeah. Trying to get off what I can feel, but there's some residue there.
Keep an eye on them. Sorry about that.
Huh?
I clicked the wrong button. Make this stack over here.
Well, you can double them up. Once most of the moisture's gone, they'll double and triple up and stack them like different angles. So
Just like when you print it.
yeah, because the edges dry first, the middle stays wet. So. There's the edge. This is where I got in trouble the other day. This backing paper. You can see it's still there.
Training at Adachi. No, that's not me. I work for Takumi Hanga. Adachi.
Are there people there training? Or
I think
the
he has
usual one or two each year?
Two apprentices. One girl, one boy, I
I
think.
don't know. I really have no contact with inside that place anymore, you know. They get the money from the government for, what is it, for 2 years at last, is it? The King Cube
Yeah,
shop.
actually, you have to live in Arakawaku for that.
Arakawaku.
If you live in Arakawaku, there was
Wait.
subsidy going. I don't know about the...
Oh, that's not
This
exactly.
is not related to
No.
Adachi, but I'm sure that they're on this as well. There is a subsidy for people living in Arakawaku.
To what? To train with somebody?
To just, to prolong the craft or learn the craft. I think it's 6 man a month.
But you have to be what? Training with somebody? What do you mean? I don't know.
Being an apprentice of someone.
In Arakawaku.
You have to live in Arakawaku. You don't have to be an apprentice of someone in Arakawaku. But that was the old craftsman district.
Maybe that's Matsaki-san who set this up. He lives in Arakawa. Matsaki-san and Ito-san, the pair of them. They lived in Arakawaku, and they are Arakawa Living National Treasures. Arakawaku has done that sort of thing. Like Living National Treasure is a Japanese thing, but Arakawaku has done a local version of it.
Okay.
And they have, ku treasures. Ningen koko, Arakawaku ningen koko toka. So maybe this is part of that. I don't know. Yeah, we're not having any trouble yesterday. The vermilion and the red were looking good here. Huh?
No bleeding. And the water's not too...
No, the water's not getting too dirty either.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
I haven't seen you use the little net scoop.
I got too much stuff in here, I guess. I want to get this wartime one out of here, but he is... Oh, here he comes.
And the back, red on the back.
Here he comes. Look at this. Whoa, this is a thin piece of paper. Okay, Taran-san, really careful with this one.
Okay.
This is like tissue paper.
See-through.
It's, absolutely see-through. Look at this. Be really careful with this one. Whoa.
You can read the newspaper through it.
Literally. Absolutely literally, yeah.
It's a real production line here.
Get so much more done. Yesterday I was fooling around. I spent half my time over there. And then watching the chat. So there's much more getting done today. Wonderful. I think I'll need to get the scoop out, like you said. Lots of stuff floating here now.
Most of the moisture comes out quite quickly. Let's see this. Can you see this one? This is the thin one, the one with the flag.
Just tear the newspaper. Just show them. Tear the newspaper. Take it over.
Ah, okay. Without damaging the print. That's this camera, sorry. Thin. But the bleeding's fine.
Didn't get any worse.
No.
Yeah, good.
I was showing you the back side of that.
Okay, I better scoop some of this crap. Hang on a second.
War propaganda.
War propaganda or information? Remember what side we're on here? I don't know. Well, actually, that's funny.
I guess if you win or lose, that's
Okay, but remember, that's a print from the 1930s, and at that point, Japan is not at war yet with either America or Britain. Japan's at war with China at that point, or about to be. I don't know the exact date of the print. So I don't know. It's obviously there's a belligerence thing. You guys keep away from me, whatever. I've got my sword here. I don't know. I don't know the background, but
setting the stage for what's to
I
come.
really don't know. I don't know.
Let's get a new piece of paper here.
We've got that print that we saw earlier. It's from the 1930s. It's 1933 or 34, 35. And it's the air raid warning drills in Tokyo. It's in commemoration of the latest round of air raid drills. And this is in the middle 1930s.
This is printed.
Is that when you got one? Yeah.
This one's not actually
A woodblock print.
hand-up.
Yeah, yeah. So that's on. This one too is different. This is soaking wet. Feel the paper, the thickness. Thick, heavy washi.
Nice rich colours still. What do you want me to do with the? Let's see.
For the moment, I think we do. We'll call it later, whatever. Can I get you some more here? Can I have some more prints?
Sure. Begin.
Well, this is fun. This is an advertisement. This is an advertisement for Mitsukoshi department store up on the 7th floor. They're going to have an exhibition. It's Ginza Mitsukoshi Nanakai. Is there a date here? There's no year. There's just the month. It's from May, March, April, May. 5月11日. And it's a rimpa. It's an exhibition of match label prints. The Tenjikai up on the department store, Mitsukoshi department store. So they're exhibiting what they've got, and they're looking for new members for their groups.
It's a pretty looking print.
But it's advertising. You're a show at 8. We've got some vermilion here. I think we're okay on this one. I think we're okay. Let's live dangerously.
How are you judging that?
Well, the one we had, that one with the red sun there, I'm not sure what I can say in words, verbalizing, That density of red vermilion just seems to be the type that would what's the word? That would blur,
That and the age of the
This
print.
one too. This one I'm iffy. When we're finished here, I would expect that there might be a bit of fringing around the edge of this one. Oh, this is the There was
No,
one
the
with,
Karazuri one is over
here.
here.
Here. Look. Got it? Okay, can we see this? I'm not.
Maybe I can do it on this camera. Ah, there you go. Can you see that? The feather embossing.
And when I first tried doing this stuff, I thought, oh, here we go. We can't do this because that will destroy the embossing on the print. I tested with some stuff, and it turns out, let's have a go. Here we go. In we go. See you in a few minutes, Kai. And that embossing is so vigorously pressed into the paper that even a bath like this doesn't destroy it. And people ask this all the time, the embossing I'm doing with the names of those prints, the Kubota-san's name and stuff like that. It's lasting as long as the print will last. Rei-chan has tried. She had some prints a few months back that she misregistered the embossing block. And she thought she had a good idea. She would take the print, put it on a flat piece of wood, flatten it with the baron, and then do the embossing again.
You just take all the thickness out of the paper. Then.
Well, it didn't even do that. You could not remove that first level of embossing. It's in there permanently.
You see, 1 second. When you get a chance, could you please post a link to the website? Which way? My website.
Well, you mean like what? Your Instagram or something? Or sure, post away or whatever. Or can the mods
My
do that?
website, it's a bit. It's not.
It won't copy paste into there. What did you do there? We've
I
lost
clicked
our-
off the screen. I'll click on this.
Okay,
This
okay.
way.
Although the way this works, we can't pay. You can type into the chat, but we can't paste into the chat.
Oh, okay, I can type it. Apologies, it is not up to date.
So is it a website or Instagram or something?
I have a website, but I had lofty ambitions and no time to complete them. I need to downscale it.
Okay, now, are people asking, or can you talk? What is your situation now? Are you still Asuka-san's apprentice? Actually, is that
Yes.
ideal? Yeah. Even though that because of Corona, his business is sort of a bit different these days.
There's still the classroom. One big thing I'm doing, apart from like the standard, like clean the studio and help around the shop and stuff when we've got classes on.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I do is I go with him to Ozuwashi, which is the paper making place.
Down in the paper selling place down in
Yeah.
in Ginza,
Yes, that's right.
Nihonbashi, huh?
So once a month he holds a class there, mostly for Japanese people.
Class for teaching.
Teaching printing. So he has a block set. What is it? It's a
So it's a suri taiken. I know.
so.
Bit more upscale, but a bit more upscale than what we used to do with our microwave.
Microwave.
When,
Down,
our own print parties.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. So I help him. Recently, there's been a couple of carvers going there, some older ladies, some carvers, and so he's needed an extra hand to.
But these are foreigners. No, these are local
Japanese.
people. Japanese. Okay.
Usually housewives and young people wanting to try it for the first time, or people wanting to try out before they attend the class or something. So yeah, I've been helping out there as well. Next one's on the 15th. This paper is white.
But then the process of being an apprentice, I mean, like, how does this work? In the early days, I guess, he gave you sort of like test sheets where you had to carve circles, and lines, stuff like that?
Triangles inside of squares, inside of circles, yeah.
So how long did that go on for? What was that?
I did about a full year before I made any image.
An actual picture.
Yeah, and that was the bridge one, if anyone's seen it on my Instagram.
Yeah, we're talking about a year of practicing carving shapes.
Shapes, yeah, and kanji, and kanji's a big one.
Did you do that like classic thing where they use the joruri text?
Yes. So the three different kinds of the three main.
Big fat lettering on big wide curves to
Yes,
train.
there's three main types. I forget the names of the fonts. What would you call it? But there's a thin one, a really boxy set.
Oh, Edo Moji, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the really calligraphic one, and then there's the sort of in between them, and so you get the same kanji 3 times in both of those fonts.
Gotcha,
And, it goes
and this
down
was
the
simply,
page.
you've got a test block, you carve it, and it just gets thrown away. It's just simply for training.
you do a test print from it to see, and then you do another one and see if you can do it better.
But I mean, was this work that was then going to go to printers to be printed and sold?
No.
It was simply, so you carve a block, and at the end of it, he looks at it, you fix it or whatever, and then it's thrown away.
He says, "Yeah, no good. Start again."
Okay. Yeah.
But it's a good actual. It's a good progress meter. You can sort of look back at what you did in January of that year and what you're doing in.
So you've got a
December.
file somewhere with the little test prints taken from these blocks from the
Yes.
beginning. You've got a file, yeah. Okay, but nobody else sees this, of course.
No, this is
Yeah,
just for
yeah,
me.
yeah, okay.
All my Instagram, sometimes I put them up there, but. Sorry. And what wood did you practice on? All Yamazakura. I don't do any Shina.
No, there's no point to anything else. No point. Absolutely no point.
It's expensive, especially at the start. But yeah, there's no point practicing on Shina if you want to work exclusively in the future on.
Of course.
Sorry, chat. I'm not so used to this. I'm not good at multitasking on there. Getting too focused into the print.
Hey, this guy's a third of my age and he says he's no good at multitasking.
Is It's actually tech. You're probably better at being tech. There's no way I can do any coding and stuff. That sounds a bit much for me.
Prince, I need more prints. Feed me, feed me. How's our time? 8:30. My God, we're digging through this. That's insane. I thought there was going to be enough here for a week, and it's only 8:30, and we've already chewed through most of it.
Should we get more of the Tehon after?
I think we'll have to do that. Okay, okay. Or I'll start putting more of those in and less of these smaller ones. We're cooking with gas here today.
So. Yamazaka mountain check.
Whoa, are we cooking?
Someone's talking about mercury sulfide. Is that to do with the yellow pigment?
The vermilion is, I think it's called, chemically, it's sulfuretted mercury, I think, something like this, or one of the vermilions that is used. I've heard the chemical say sulfuretted mercury. And there's different ways it can be used as turned into pigments, and I know nothing about the chemistry about it, but some of them turn out to be hugely, what's the word, I don't know, not fugitive, water, they dissolve easily in water. And we're actually doing quite well today with these.
Yeah, the one that was the scary one, that was fine. So.
Is he okay? That thin sheet of paper is fine, is it?
This one's an interesting one. When the other half of this comes out.
Oh yeah, it's in here now. I got it in here.
Yeah, you can see it in the bath there.
Yeah.
Can you see which one it joins to?
Yeah.
We'll need your help. Confusing.
We're okay. Most of these reds are coming through just fine. Look at this. Nothing at all. Good.
How many hours a week did I used to carve during my first year as an apprentice? I did 6 hours every day, except the weekend where I used to carve about, I don't know, between 11 and 12.
Well, wait, weren't you teaching part-time too? Or what?
I was teaching, yeah, but back then I was an ALT, so I finished work at 3:30, and I lived 5 minutes away from the school, so I could be home by, 20 to 4. And then I just sat down and I carved at the...
Okay, so it's evening then. So not at Asuka-san's place.
I also used to wake up early in the morning and get like a couple hours in before work. I was a bit obsessive back then. And then 3 years later, the burnout sets in a little bit. So this year's work has been a bit much, so I don't get to carve as much anymore. But hopefully next year I'll be starting a different job, and I can get back to carving.
Okay, this is the one with the big karazuri. It's still soaking wet, so we can't see it. But let's keep an eye on this one as it.
You can see the karazuri when you hold the light, right?
I can see it as a yeah. Is it showing? That's thick paper too. Oh.
Yeah, even the lines on the back are embossed from just printing.
Yeah.
See that? That's thick paper you get when you print. You get the lines indented into the paper from the colour blocks. In case you can't see that. We'll show you after.
Once we get it dry down.
You showed it on the last show on top. What's that? The embossing?
Oh, I know what I forgot to do when we were getting started here, the show and tell package. I don't know where I put it.
You said big one.
Oh, that's another right. Oh, Soka. Yeah,
Okay,
the
it's not
opportunity
the big
because
one.
you're here. Yeah, I know. I know the show and tell that I had prepared last time, but we didn't get to because I ran out of time. That's here. It's in the next room, I guess. And then that's right, I said, with Taran-san here, we have a chance to do something different. So, yeah, let me think about this in the background while I'm doing this.
Thank you, John. He's on it.
Yeah, I'm not. In the show and tell that I mentioned before, the Taisho era books, that's here in the next room. But should we switch plans and grab something from downstairs that's big? What can we do here?
What was the big one you were talking about?
I didn't have any specific idea.
Okay.
Just because Taran's here, I could get something from the second floor, from the big section. But I didn't actually plan this and get a stand ready and stuff like that.
Last time I was here, we did is it Ogata Kore?
Yeah, because it was we were downstairs in the wide room there. Yeah, with the camera, we could back up with the camera. Anyway, let me think about that in the back of my mind here and see if I can come up with an idea.
How did I become interested in printing? I'd always really liked Japanese art. I was really into Japanese tattoos, and I was into mostly samurai, so I was reading a lot about samurai, and I was seeing all these cool kunioshi pictures. And then I sort of didn't do anything with it. I used to draw my own sort of Jed Henry style stuff when I was younger. And then I sort of forgot about it. And then I stumbled, I don't know how, I'm not sure whether I watched the movie first, the one you did with Jed. Maybe I watched that on a plane.
Oh, the documentary?
first time. Yeah. I think I watched that first, and then I stumbled upon your YouTube. Or it might have been the other way around, I'm not too sure. And then, yeah, I flew out here a month later.
But I can't remember
Chasing
you.
it.
I think you wrote to me, I blew you off or something. I can't remember what happened. I don't really know.
I was thinking about writing to you for a little bit before I came, and I thought, guy outside the country, he's never going to respond to this. It's ridiculous.
And I did.
So then I came to Japan, and then I wrote to you. So I could say,
super,
at least I'm here.
All right, I
I'm
get you.
Then one step further.
So you showed some commitment first. I mean, yeah. We don't blow people away. We've got a standard package of
very
answers,
nice.
And we get asked, "Can I be your apprentice?" We get asked all the time, and we simply can't do that, obviously. So.
And it was the right thing,
But even when you did then get in contact with me, it was clear that you were already here then and doing this. So I must have given you the look. I can't be your teacher, but I know a guy who can.
Yes,
Is that
that's
what happened?
exactly what happened, yeah. And then I decided, that didn't go so well. I don't have any... it was ridiculous of me. I've come here, I've made one step, but to think that a guy would know nothing to show you properly, to say, look, I can do this on my own. Imagine if I could get taught. So I spent 6 months then.
Before going to Asuka Sensei?
Yes.
So it's the same thing. So to get some credit, build up some credit. Okay, fair enough.
So getting told no from him would have been, I've wasted everything.
Yeah.
So I needed to...
So you made some
yes
prints
from him.
by yourself first before going to him. Yeah. That's plus minus,
I know.
In the old days, they wouldn't have wanted that because they want you as a blank slate, clearly. But I see your point, to show the credibility. Look, guy, I really want to try this,
So when I started with Asuka Sensei, it was basically from zero again, as if I hadn't done any of that. But I think there was a benefit to it. I had some stuff to unlearn.
Yeah, credibility, of course, yeah. Okay, look at this one. Whoa, this is a decayed piece of paper. I got to be careful with this one. This is where I got in trouble the other day.
Yeah, really brown.
It's brown and rotten.
Have you been able to save the crane that taught in the last one? No, are you going to put a backing on that, or is it too old to even bother?
Oh no, I distorted it too much. If I had just sort of torn it, we could glue it back together. But I wiped it too much and distorted and destroyed at the most critical part of the image, the crane's mouth, So no, it's just not worth it. I mean, without wanting to be flip about it, these prints are actually sort of worthless. They're worthless in the market. They're interesting. I love them. We're studying them. I'm taking care of these things, so they're not worthless to me. But in the Japanese dealers market, these things are just literally...
Dime a dozen.
Yeah, or whatever number you want to put on. The dealers just won't even look twice. So in terms of value to the world's museum stuff, what have I destroyed? Absolutely nothing.
It was past it as well.
Pardon me?
It was, I saw it before we started the stream. It's like, it's really oxidized.
Yeah, no, it's gone, It was dead. This one too, I don't know. It'll be okay, but how much of that color is going to come back, I don't know. I don't care, and we've always never played it that way. We don't really care about the monetary value of the stuff. I don't mean that in a flippant way, they're going to destroy stuff, but I mean, the prints that I buy, the prints that I get excited about, the prints that I want to show everybody, it doesn't matter. It can be worth 10 cents. I don't care if it's nicely made and if it's interesting. The monetary side of it has just never been on our radar, you know. And luckily for me, because that's the stuff that other people ignore, so yeah, it suits me just fine. You know.
Someone asked a question here. Where did we go? Taran did to Dave what Dave did to Adachi. What does that mean?
Taran did to Dave what Dave did to Adachi. Not quite sure. I never went to Adachi.
Maybe coming upstairs and like, oh, can I just have a look in your printer studio? Can I help you play, take some backings off and stuff? Getting involved.
I don't know, I'm not sure what they're saying. I never went to Adachi to ask them to be an apprentice. That was never, ever, ever, ever on the table, you know.
Why was that? Why didn't you?
Well, for the time that I described in those videos, I was living in Canada. I had a job. I was a manager of the sheet music store there. We were visiting Japan twice, and I visited Adachi during those 2 visits. I wasn't living in Japan.
But once you came back,
I had a job with 1 kid and then 2 kids. Once we came back, why didn't I go there? I'm not really sure. I remember he had thrown me out. He had thrown me out and got upset about me. So when I came back to Japan, I didn't even go and visit them because I had been thrown out, you know. The first idea, we've talked about it many times, when we moved here to live, I tried to go downtown to live in Asakusa, knowing that there would be carvers and printers on the ground around here somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like hopefully I could get some contact with them. Taran-san, warning. Here's the print that's the other part of that glued on one, okay. But the corner of this thing is damaged, not by me. The corner actually is torn here.
Okay, I'll be careful.
So when you're picking this up and putting it down, please avoid that. We could lose that corner really easily. Okay. Then what he was talking about, there's a paste on part. He's got another piece for print which pastes on here. We'll talk about it later once this thing's dry. Be careful with that one, sir.
Okay. Right. Frayed edge.
That's an frayed edge too. I don't know what that is. So.
How do you know which colours are colour fast? Yeah.
Experience.
I've been asking. He doesn't have a straight answer for that.
No, I don't. There's nothing I can say in words. There are certain eras of prints that were used with generally colour fast pigments. And the prints made from this era, they are okay. Our own prints, almost all the pigments we use, you could do this with the prints we're making these days. Most of them. And
are there any pigments in the market nowadays that you know that...
You're asking the wrong guy. I just don't have enough experience. We have a very small repertoire of pigments we use, and we are very familiar with them. We feel them, we touch them, we don't taste them, but we know how they work, and you know, we've had 40 years of experience with them. But other stuff in the market, I just don't know. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to beg off, I simply don't know.
So here's a question. So you... Traditionally, 4 or 5 different pigments they use, and then everything else is mixed, right?
Yes, but that 4 or 5 has morphed and changed over the years.
Okay, so what...
The core group of pigments that were in use at the beginning of the Edo period morphed and changed. We've all heard about it, the Prussian blue came from overseas and stuff like that. So that core group did change. But what's never been the case in the printmaking world is we've never... So we don't buy purple and buy green and stuff. Mm. In the old days, they didn't do that. For a time in Meiji, they did. Those aniline colors came in, aniline purple for one of them, and the guys jumped on it and used that purple. And they broke their long tradition and paid for it. Those things are god-awful. They're just a parody. The old tradition was with a group of pigments, a kind of blue, a kind of red, a kind of yellow, plus black,
and a rust.
And you can make anything. That's the kind of red. Then the 20th century version of it that we're doing now We have a core group of 6 of them is the goal. We want a cool red and a warm red. That's our Bengara, the warm red. And the cool red is the Honyoko. Then we've got the same thing in blue. We've got our cool blue and a warm blue. And the warm blue, it's sort of a dirty blue, the indigo. And the cool blue is the lake, the eye lake, or BI they call it. And then in yellow, we don't have the two. The cool one, the bright one, is the sort of the contemporary cadmiums, the lemon yellows. There's no traditional color like that. And the other one, the darker one, the warmer one, is the sulfur, the sulfur arsenic mix, which we can't get. So I don't have a good balance of yellows to use. Then on top of that, we have our black, which mixes in, and that's enough to make anything and everything within this tradition. But I really don't know much about anything else because we that's all we stick to, you know. Yellow, yellow, yellow is our biggest problem. The other part of it is that because we have that self-imposed limitation on our base colors, there's colors on the color wheel that we can't do. If you think about Photoshop, there's different ways to do it with bars and sliders, but the color wheel that's there in Photoshop, if you have start pigments that are on the absolute outside edge of that color wheel, then you can mix them together to go inside the wheel.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But you're saying on the color wheel, there's a part where it's not intersectional, where you can't.
Well, our base blue pigment is already partway down inside that color wheel, so we can't go up and outside. We can come down and inside. We can mix more black and mix more other colors together with it. And our problem is when the designers, and Jed used to do this in the early days, he would click all over the color wheel into areas that we couldn't reach with our traditional pigments.
Let me check the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm really bad at this.
Oh, look at this. Just floats off. I just picked up the paper. Boom, it's gone. I didn't have to peel or anything. It just literally floated away.
It's a real junk card that it's back to, isn't it?
No, this is the one. It's modern. It's modern. But the glue, it must have just been simple, perhaps rice paste. So once the glue is soft enough, that's it. It just dissolves. And we got away with it. Look, we're okay on that red as well. We're good. How are we stacking, sir? Are they? Please don't leave them too long without changing.
I thought
Okay.
once they're sort
No. Look, that's going to stick. And
Okay.
No, keep going.
So move the stack
Move
back.
that back. Yeah, maybe throw this back on.
You're right.
Get some fresh newspaper. You got to keep them moving. Absolutely. Okay, we'll try this one as well. We have these military. There's some kind of a set. I don't know what's the full content of the set. There's some kind of military group here. There's 3 soldiers with names and an activity scene from a fighting. And it seems that there was a set. And there's an envelope to hold the set, like we did with our yokai series that we published earlier this year.
You've got the envelope in the water now.
And I'm now going to do that because it's really heavily stuck down. I mean, it is totally heavily stuck down. In she goes. I should maybe open it. Get the water in there. That's going to be a toughie. That's going to be tough.
That's cool. Delicate card.
Yeah, just keep shuffling. You should now be a shuffling maniac. Just keep shuffling, throwing away the dirtier, the butter paper. Yeah. And be really careful about the corners. Pop them up in the back. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Look at this.
Bleeding.
See it? Let's get that off the back and we can get this out of here.
So, 8:55.
We're cooking with gas. We got so much done. Amazing. Amazing.
Is this thin?
And the thin one, yeah, it is. That's a delicate one. Be careful.
Is this the one that bled?
No, it's here. This one. So it's funny. What is there about this one? I don't know. Look at this. You can see clearly the color has washed off here and it's now tinting the paper around it. Yet the paper underneath is completely clean.
Yeah, just water. Nothing special in the water. Just warm water.
Yeah.
How's the colour looking? Is it getting orange?
Seems okay. The other day it got really, really dirty. This one seems okay. I think because we've been doing these smaller prints.
And the glue seems lighter on them.
The papers, it's the old Meiji paper that seemed to give us a staining. I don't know. Or just because I'm moving quicker and they're coming out of the water more quickly. They're not staying in
maybe
for
that's
so
it.
long. I don't know. I'm totally missing the chat, so I don't know. No idea what's going on. I guess, are you on top of it a little bit? Or?
Trying. I'm failing a bit. What is the current vegetable man status? I don't know. I haven't heard him today. You were asking earlier about the experience of living in Japan. Japanese language living in Japan. How about you when you first came here? Did you have a lot of trouble with it?
Today's chance actually is with you here today. It should be questions for you, your apprenticeship and what you're doing and where you're going to be going.
I think it's addressed at both of us.
Yeah.
How do our experiences line up?
But I mean, these people talk to me every 3 times a week, but there's no chance to talk to you. Here's a guy apprenticing in a traditional craft in Japan. Oh, it fell off. The envelope. It just fell off. Yay! Yay.
You were worried about that, though.
Yeah. I thought that wasn't going to come off easily. It just fell right off.
Okay.
Look at that. Good.
Will the creases in the paper stay? Just like the embossing?
Good question. I guess so.
You have lots of prints now. How are you doing? How's your stack? Are you out? Is that all of them in?
Yeah. What time is it? Yeah, it's okay. I'll go. I'll reach and get some. You keep going. You're the busy guy here now. I'm easy. You're the busy guy. Just keep flipping and changing and flipping
Yeah,
and
I'm
changing.
from Wales. Anything else? Questions? Sam, what do you do? What do you think of Dave's British accent?
My what?
There you go. There's your answer. My accent's not so British. I guess it's
No,
British,
yours
but
is
it's
not.
a bit confused.
We can tell you're from Britain, but I wouldn't be able to say where from. I would never have tabbed you as Welsh other than your name. Did you move out of there when you were very young and went to London or something? Or?
No, my family's sort of from all over. We've lived all over the UK. We lived in Scotland. My grandmother was from Nottingham. So actually, I would have been, if my great-grandfather was the eldest son and not the second eldest son, you'd be speaking to Lord Tyrone of Nottingham.
Oh, now we're getting it.
So yeah, my dad's from Manchester. We lived in Scotland. We lived all over the UK. We moved around a lot as kids. So
When
my
you just
accent's
said that now, you said Manchester. That's what I heard. That's more north.
Manchester, yeah.
Whatever you said, I can't get it.
So my cousins, they've all got a thick Mancunian accent. Yeah, town.
But your name is Welsh to show very much.
Yeah, I mean it's thunder in Welsh. It's from the old Welsh folk tales called the Mabinogion. They're like what would be like fairy tales, like Welsh fairy tales. A bit obscure even in Wales. I like the sound of Lord Tyrone. Yeah, me too.
So it rolls off, doesn't it? So, do you have some claim on a part of this title?
No, not anymore. It's long gone. But I've still got I've got a signet ring. Our family motto was apparently Veritas Vincus, the truth will out. I like that. But apart from that, I've got no connection to that
We'll
side.
call you on that later, will we? So is there a coat of arms and stuff like this?
It's like a stag with a crown on its head.
Okay, and you're in, what is it, Somerset House, all the...
I don't know. Look, I stopped the research at, oh, Lord, I'll have to take that.
Convicted of such and such.
I don't need to go any further. Don't want to ruin it. The lordship will do me nicely.
In Japan, that could go some places, you know.
Careful with the corners.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Paper stuck to it.
The backing sheet is still there. It's not coming off this one.
I knew I heard Manchester in there. Yeah, just
Yeah,
twinge,
that's what I said. It's
not
that when,
much.
especially when you said that word, you know. So
But when I was younger, I used to have a bit more of a Welsh accent, but it used to sound... No offence to anyone, but
huh?
I used to have a bit of a stronger Welsh accent.
You put it on, or
No, just going to school, because we did school bilingually, and it was mostly Welsh, actually.
oh,
You
okay.
could
You're in
opt
that era
into-
when they were coming back. Yeah.
Well, the north is very Welshy Welsh, like that. And the south... they've
North
sort
of Wales. You're talking
North
about.
of Wales, yeah. So in the North Wales, mostly where I'm from, in the villages and towns and stuff, the Welsh is the first language. But in the south, it's sort of already dead.
Oh, that much of a difference. So
Because there's no road, there's mountains in the middle.
So
there's
is
no
that
road
the next
connecting
step of
the
this?
north and
North and South Wales are going to separate even farther into different countries.
south. Yeah, out of Europe, no more Wales. If Tara was speaking real Scouse, yeah, no one could understand. That's true. My uncle, he's got a very strong accent.
From the one from Manchester.
Yeah. You like that, kid? Yeah, no. Most of you couldn't understand, especially Americans. Very few of you could understand. I've learnt that living in Japan, like, Japanese people struggle with British English. And
What do you mean? You don't mean the Queen's English. You mean
Just-
regional accents. You mean? What do you mean?
just mine, even it's not very strong British, but Queen's
Really?
English or sort of Pig's English, any of it, it's more difficult for Japanese people for sure than American. It's mostly to do with the tonalities. Everything's a bit more monotone.
Okay, but wait a minute. You could bring somebody over from the Bronx or something, and he's going to talk to you, and they're not going to have a clue what he's saying.
I mean,
so,
on the basic level. Because I know someone who speaks Queen English, and people still struggle a bit with her language because it's
Really?
not American.
but you're talking about like subway announcement English, you mean, right? On the train on platform 2, that kind of stuff to show Queen's English.
When I was in junior high school, my first year here, I used to get told to stop saying things in the British way. Sometimes I'll say a carrot instead of a carrot.
Oh, okay,
and the
I
kids
get
just
you.
have no idea.
And the vocabulary too. Oh, yeah.
And sweater and jumper and stuff.
Yeah,
and it just sort of
Pavements and
like-
sidewalks and
Yeah. So it's definitely easier. It's the intonation. It's the inflections on American English is you know what's happening because of the tone of it. If it's a question, you know it's a question. Sometimes say bottle of water.
Now we're getting to the thick and dirty, are we? I mean, I'm out of this game. I left Yorkshire when I was, X weeks old, and left Britain when I was 5 years old. So there's.
So you went to a private school, so I'm sure your English was.
It must have been kind of, yeah. I think it would have been kind of a little bit posh, you know.
A fancy little lad.
Yeah, I guess so. But I can't do it now. I can't remember it. I've Googled the place and they're gone. They're
Oh,
gone.
the school?
Yeah, it's gone. I wanted to go and look at it 'cause I have some memory of the physical structure of the building. And partly it's personal memory and part of it's reinforced by my mother telling me stories about it, that kind of stuff,
Right.
I wanted to see the building to see how much I could remember of it, but it's gone. The classic story that my mother tells is that when I was there, you come from the subway station, or the tube station, you come along the sidewalk, and you walk across the front of the building to get to the entrance where you go in. And on the front of the building is the headmistress's room.
Oh.
And you can't see in. It's big windows there with curtains and stuff like that. But
You are being watched.
no, it wasn't that. It's that either this was a rule, or she told me to do this, or everybody had to do this. I remember nothing. As you walked along the sidewalk and passed the front of her window, you stopped, turned to the window, doffed your cap, and bowed on the assumption that she might be, seeing you there. And then you put your cap back on and head into the door, and away you go.
It'd be a real power trip for that.
Well, it was the culture. It's good. I'm not even going to diss it. Having respect for your elders in that kind of a situation. When you're a 4-year-old boy, you be respectful to the headmistress of your school, of course. I'm not saying this in any sarcastic way at all. I very much respect that idea, and it's obviously that stuff now is in the core of this guy. And whether you think of it in a cynical way that I was programmed to be a do-gooder,
We're all programmed.
or whether this was common sense that people should have that much respect, But anyway, that's the start of this guy, and I was there for, I guess, 2 years in that school, through age 4 and through age 5. But I remember, other than that, really, and that's a half-manufactured memory, other than that, I remember nothing. And the accent, my God, I'd love to hear it now.
It's a shame you didn't have video back then.
YouTube, nay. Let's look at 4-year-old Dave with his
I feel bad for the
Cap.
the kid,
The kids these
Gen
days, you mean,
Z.
yeah.
It's gonna follow you for the rest of your life. No, I'm glad I wasn't on YouTube when I was
I don't
5.
know. The culture, yeah. So
My nieces and nephews know that he's got his own little. He's doing football skills on YouTube. He's like 7. Does he also have a channel? No channel for me.
yet,
Yet, yeah, perhaps one day. I just don't have the time. As soon as I can, when I
There's
finish,
still that conversation.
when I give up teaching English fully, when I can get away with that, then I'll probably start one.
Also, we hinted at it before. Taran-san and I have a sort of a it's a sleeping idea that there's some work we could do together on social media, you know.
I have some ideas about that.
Yes, Taran-san has some strong ideas, and we sort of talked about it, but both of us, sorry, Taran-san.
Sorry.
Both of us are just so swallowed, you know.
I do have some new ideas about that.
Okay.
Maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah. The two guys here who are in this same world, but who came in through different doors, and you know.
There's some pretty strong parallels, though.
Well, the one that's still really that I can't answer is the 100-year parallel.
The British people.
100 years ago, Brits, Fletcher, Platt, the Canadian guy, Walter Phillips, all these guys came and learned this thing and got really good at it, and it didn't continue beyond them. Those group of 5 or 6 men and a couple of women. There was a big boost in the Japanese printmaking tradition in the West, specifically Britain, a little bit France, and then it died. And here we are 100 years ago, and it's British people again. William Francis, David Stones from Lancashire, you from Wales, me from Britain. How am I forgetting more? Whatever it is.
Laura Boswell.
Yeah, of course, Laura Boswell's a lady.
You asked me this last time, and I sort of said something unintelligible.
But the ones here are all Brits. Dave Stones is here, you're here, I'm here. The exception, Richard Steiner is here, but he's not working at all in the traditional scene. He makes, you know, modern looking and all different kind of prints. He's an American. He's here long before me.
Terry
from Australia, yes, Terry McKenna. So he's against that thing. So maybe I'm just picking my, cherry picking my examples.
You see the sample.
So. And that's true to some extent. You know.
Yes, hi Andy. This is me, Taryn.
With his new haircut.
Who has done some, still doing some carving for Dave. We've got a little series going. I haven't posted anything.
Those will be in our January, they will be in our January mailing.
So there's one that's
done.
I think Ray Chan's desk it was, right?
Ray Chan's test printed, top secret still, yeah.
And I've done the key block, and I'm carving the color blocks for the second one.
So we're a little bit late. I was hoping to get that. January 20th is the speculated date for our next mailing, but I'm not sure yet.
Printing time is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, the subscription series this year is going to take a lot of time printing. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to stop adding new things to this bath. It's now 9:10.
9:12, yeah.
Okay, as far as the show and tell then, I have in the next room the show and tell that had been planned for the previous session, so we'll pull that out rather than trying to change plans yet again and go and get something large. I'm not sure how we'll do it. It's small books, so how should we do that with
cameras?
cameras
Will we do it in
and
here,
stuff?
or we go into the...
No point moving all the cameras. I got to take us 10-15 minutes to move it for no real purpose. So what I'll do, I think we'll get the tripod stand here on the desk. I'll change this camera to point at that. Okay, we can do this. It's okay. So show and tell. There will be a show and tell at 9:15 or something short. As soon as we empty this box. Look at this. This is a vivid example, this one. Look at the edge of this one. Look at the difference in color. That's where it was glued down to the backing sheet. And the paper is still basically white and clean. The glue protected it. And this shows us the problem. The problem wasn't the atmosphere. The problem wasn't the washi itself. The problem was the junk paper that this has been in contact with for 100 years.
But that'll mute out once we...
Well, yeah, once it's dried, it will be visible, but not that vividly visible.
It is hopeless. Your dad's family...
Oh, my mum's here. Hey.
It was one...
Oh, what's this?
Booking because the manager said he was a gypsy.
What's this
I
new?
was once refused a hotel booking because the manager said I was a gypsy.
This is my mother talking?
Yeah. Your dad's family came from Ireland.
Ireland, really? How far back are we talking? You know, are we talking like 10 generations ago or my dad's grandfather or something? This is news to me.
So you got some Irish in you.
Don't we all?
David O'Bull.
Well, tell us more. I'd like to learn more. But this gypsy story you're telling us, are you talking about when you were a little kid or when we're grown-ups here? What's the...
Says, it's okay, Corey, I was. Who's Corey? The boy... David Muckbull. Yeah, we're getting all the Irish. Here we go.
I'm never going to live this one down now, I guess. Things I'm learning when I'm 70 years old.
Can I miss someone from that? How many more you got in the bath?
I got about 4 or 5 prints. We'll just finish off. No more will go in now. We'll just clean up what I've got here. So I'll be finished here in a few minutes, and I will go next door and grab that show and tell. We'll move the cameras, and we'll try and... Yeah, I probably put a few too many in here.
Don't we all? Yeah, you got some Irish in me, and you don't we all?
That's what I said.
Well, that's my last name,
so-
Casey.
so-
That's Irish.
I know, especially people in North America. I mean, I wasn't born there, but people in North America, there was so much Scottish-Irish immigration, you know, through the 1800s and 1900s.
The Welsh went to Patagonia, I think.
Patagonia?
Yeah.
What's that, Argentina? Really? What era are we talking about? The 1800s?
Around the same time as people coming to.
Well, like, why would they have been leaving? The Scots left because of the famines and stuff. The Irish left because of the famines and whatever,
Prospects.
you know.
Job prospects.
You know, large families, only the oldest son gets the land. The youngest kids have to just, out you go, boy.
Sick of working the mines as well, maybe.
Yeah, the slate mines or whatever it is they do there. Is it coal?
Both, yeah. North is lots of slate. Coal in the south. Granite quarries as well.
It's always a curiosity to me, if my parents hadn't emigrated to Canada in that 1950s, I was going to that little posh little school, if life had not changed dramatically for them, and if I was still there, where would I be now? What would I be doing? You know, would I have gone to Eton and be Prime Minister and be part of that stuff now, or would I be, what would I be doing?
Oh, you'd fit in a tree. They'd love you there.
I don't
Walking
think
around
so.
barefoot.
I don't think so.
Through the Houses of Parliament.
So in other words, the path that I had been set on doesn't seem, the current David doesn't seem to be a path that would have been suitable for me. So
This is from your grandfather. I was a young girl, but too polite to say anything.
my grandfather.
Thank you for that. Who sent me that?
Oh, so this one, she was a child. She was a child then.
Yeah, she was
Okay,
a child.
okay. Lots of stories I haven't heard. Wow, we're gonna get busy with a tape recorder.
Oh, nod, nod, wink, wink. Couple more, and then we'll have some
Yeah, we're almost
show.
done. Yeah, move to the show and tell. My fingers are all crinkled up. I've spent the last hour here with my fingers. We didn't switch over too either, Taran-san, you know?
It's all right.
We said we were going to switch over and you
We had a
can
good-
destroy some prints.
We had a good rhythm going.
Yeah, Anna, what's your plans this morning? You can hang around this morning? Because what we could do is after the stream's over and stuff.
Do a few more.
Yeah, let's do a few more. We might as well finish this batch, you know, after the stream's done.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in no rush today.
Okay. I mean, I got tons of other stuff to do, but let's do a bit more of this then, maybe. This one's dangerous. Dave, be careful. Thin one coming up, Taran-san. They're not all on the same paper, you know. Some of them are on stronger paper than others. This collection is just sort of a random collection some dude made of stuff that he had gathered together over a period of some years, obviously. So. Okay, let's get our Chinese generals, Japanese generals. They're going to come off. Yeah, just float them away, guys. I'm going to take a total guess here. We've got these three military gentlemen, and my guess is these are three men whose names will forever live. They did something famous or heroic or charged the battlements. I don't know. I'm sure there's historical data on it, but...
Is there any names on them?
Yeah, there are names on them. So this will be three guys who did something valorous and...
a modern 47 round.
Whatever, I don't know. Can I steal a bit of paper here? There's space over there, is it? Like,
I'm running out of dry paper. Sorry, Joe. It's all systems go now.
yeah, we're ignoring everybody very much. Can't be helped, I'm sorry. We can work or we can talk. Can't really do both. Well, I'm happy we got a ton of work done here today. Thank you very much, sir. Having two people, it's not even twice as fast. It's way, way, way faster. We've done so much more than I did the other day.
How long has Taryn been in Japan? 3 years? Yeah, 3 years now? Maybe?
Listen to this guy. He's trying to pretend he's so cool that he can't remember anymore, you know. For the first 10 years, we remember.
August 2018.
every time we meet foreigners in the early years, there's this little dance we do, like a...
I've been here a year.
Yeah, and I've been here 11 months. I've been here 12 months, you know, whatever. So,
Yeah, I'm past it now.
yeah, you're past it. Oh, 3 years, you're past it. Okay, believe that, anybody, you know. I got it yesterday. One of the food trucks out there on the cart yesterday. I put my order in and it didn't really look up. It's a dark inside the food truck. I put the order in and the guy spoke back in English. So I look up and yeah, actually it is. It's I guess he was an American, whatever. And with a brand new food truck, absolutely brand new. And he said, "You're the first customer for that item on the menu." And I'm like, "You didn't have to tell me that." You know, whatever. I guess he knows what he's doing. He's been saving up. And then he said, "How many years have you been here?" And I thought a bit and said, 35. And I've been 11. And he's been here 11 years, and I guess most of the conversations he has, he's the winner.
Yeah.
Because when you've been here 11, you very rarely meet people who have been here longer than you. You frequently meet people here who have been less than you. So unfortunately, I had to cap him. You got to tell the truth, you know. What can I do, you know? I couldn't lie. I said, 35.
So you're thinking he was playing the game, doing?
Well, he was. His voice said, you know, "How long have you been here?" Yeah. He was playing the game. So it's fair game. If you want to play the game, guy, fair enough. Put your cards on the table.
Yeah.
Bang, I got you, you know. So it's okay. So I didn't start this. Yeah, exactly. You did this yourself. I do not start this game at all, ever anymore. Ever. Except, I guess I just did in this conversation. But what I mean is, you know, when we're meeting them out there.
Does he fight? Does the food truck guy fight with in a competition with the vegetable man?
The food trucks are here on holidays and weekends. And it's because there are not enough restaurants in Asakusa to handle the demand. And for the past few years now, demand has been so high, even with Corona, that there are lineups outside all the restaurants now around noon and well into the afternoon. So the merchants associations, not the one on our street specifically, but the one down on Broadway, near the big Marugoto Nippon, they have contracted food trucks, 5, 6, 7 food trucks to come and park here. And they're only allowed to do it from 10 until 5. They have to be gone by 5 o'clock, just when people are thinking about going to buy some food. So they're trying to balance. They don't want to destroy the business for the restaurants here in town, of course, but there's not enough restaurants to handle the business. So they're trying to play the balance between those two things.
Someone's given us an update on the soldier prints.
Oh, they found something?
Yeah,
Okay.
3 soldiers are famous for a courageous suicide bombing to defense in 1932. It was very sad.
32. Who are we fighting? This is China already? 1932.
Barbed wire defense. Barbed.
Barbed wire. I mean, we have in the picture here. We have. There's some kind of there's some kind of barbed wire. The three pictures go in a row. 1, 2, 3. And this long, thin thing. There's a long thing they were carrying. Must be the bomb, I guess. So these guys, if that's the right story, these three men then have carried a bomb with them into the opposing barbed wire, blown it up, and their friends can then come through. Is that the story? Wow. Not sure if I'd want that job, but I don't know. A different world, different place, different time. And this is one of the three guys.
The Japanese invasion of China began in 1931. So
Okay, there we are. There we are. Then okay. So.
Who's that? Chocolate eggs. Washi.
Yes, pass out, Terence, please pass out some eggs if people have been helping and
I got my
contributing.
first egg the other day.
First one, really?
Yeah. What was it? You were embossing the wrong name.
That was a disaster. My God, thank you. That deserves more than an egg. Lunch?
Deal.
Okay, you keep flipping. I'll go get the show and tell stuff.
Okay. Quick, he's gone. What should we do? Party? Dozen eggs. Yeah, a dozen. This one's pretty.
Pardon me?
These tehons, they're just simple but pleasant.
They were made in the millions. Every classroom had a stack of them. Sometimes they come in nice, organized albums. Mostly they're just loose sheets of paper. They would have been distributed by the Ministry of Education. So are we, nothing is crinkling up, right? It's still damp enough here. We've moved so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we'll do then, after we've done our show and tell, what we'll do is we'll start to mix. Some of the bottom ones here that are getting a bit too dry now, we'll stack them up together with new ones. So,
to keep them all.
yeah, so they will, they'll pick up. Yeah,
Are these okay to sit here while we're doing this show and tell?
I'm going to want to put something right here, so if we can take some of these and just pack them on top of there.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Good. Is this empty, is it all?
Yeah, I think.
You think, well, I screwed up. I threw some newspaper away and there's like 3 or 4 prints still inside it. And...
Good.
Okay, now. I'm getting this stand set up, but it's not really standable work. And also, I'd like to be able to see the... If I move it a bit... Well, you've got the large text.
Large text?
No, you've got the large text. Good. Okay. All right, are we show and tell time then?
Yes, we're well after.
Okay, so we should perhaps kill... Yeah, let me kill this camera here. Come here. Because I can put something in the space here. Let's do this. Well, for those of you who don't know what's going on here, we can... Just a sec. This is the room here. Taran-san is standing there with the computer.
Did I?
This is the stairs. People came up the stairs, and here we are. And we've been, of course, the bath has been here in front of us. Normally, this is where I do sizing. So let's zoom in on this part of it right now. And are we focused?
I think we're okay.
Is it focused? Just for a second here, can we do that? Simple, just 1 second.
You get a bit of a better angle on it. Do we want to put that in the middle, perhaps? Green tape. Yeah, we got all sorts of tape. Green, white.
Okay. But no, I wanted that and this. Hey.
Ah, okay.
Oh, there's green tape. Look at that. Wow. Okay, we're going back in time 100 years. Almost exactly 100 years.
Is this the one the interesting one you were talking about the other day?
Well, they're all interesting. What do you mean, Tom? What do you mean?
The especially interesting one, sorry. Some giants.
Books. I know the eras after Japan opened up, Tokyo became, the core of the country. Everything was about Tokyo. People down in the Kansai area, which is a big, giant, vibrant area, Osaka, the biggest commercial part of the country, they felt, I'm just sort of super generalizing, people in Kansai came to feel that their area was sort of, it's like people in Chicago compared to people in New York or something.
Sorry, we've got the camera overlays. The menu.
I can't. It'll time out by itself in a few minutes.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
I can't turn it off because unless you can figure out. Look, here it is. This is the spot focus. So what we do is
Okay.
we touch the place we want to be focused, and now we hit OK to turn it off. But when I hit OK, it thinks I want to focus on that corner. Oh, then it went. I tried 5 or 6 times. It took that as my new focus point.
A dodgy touch.
Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, long story short. We have a literary cultural magazine being published down in the Kansai area to promote and talk about and do cultural things for the Kansai area. It's called the Kamigata Shumi. And this is one of the earliest issues. This is Taisho 6. And it was published some years 4 or 5, some years 6. This would be 1 year's group. This must be the Taisho 6 collection. There's the New Year's one, the spring issue. Let's put some up on the stand here.
1916. There you go.
1916. So we are just over 100 years ago. And these are not totally woodblock printed books like we have seen before in these streams. The books themselves are printed with metal type. So the books themselves they're not offset printed, they're relief printed with metal type. And there are stories about the theater, there are novelettes, there are reviews of books and things like that in them. But they all have in them, they have a couple of things. They have the cover is a beautiful woodblock print. The back, sometimes the back, let's get one by one. And they have woodblock printed advertising. This is the Daimaru department store running an ad inside a magazine, and they have paid to have this carved and printed as a woodblock print.
Is that mica in it?
You tell me, I'm just opening this, I'm seeing this for the first time.
Looks the sparkle.
We have a few of these magazines downstairs, but this is the first time I've got a 1-year collection all in that together. And they also have, in the same way as the literary magazines did, they also have kuchie. So let me try and figure out how to open this without dropping it in the bath here. I think I need to back up.
Oh, wow.
And this is, of course, look at this. It's like a Playboy fold. Look at this.
That's great. Delicate eye makeup.
I think, just give me a minute here. We've got this hot water here. I'm a tiny bit nervous about that, but we do have a cover somewhere for this. Just a second. This would make sense. This would make sense.
Less risk of
Put
falling.
the cover on. That gives me less chance, right? You can breathe easier now?
You question the arm posing. Let's see her again.
Huh? What is she doing?
Oh, she's just...
I don't know. You tell me. What's the pose? I don't know.
Ah, I'm sorry. she's
That's
got-
her left. This is her left hand to show.
Oh, that's okay.
And again, I'm opening these for the first time, so I don't know what's in. Sometimes there are other woodblock prints scattered through the books. Yes, here we have, okay, this is a mix now. The body of the book is printed in a press with metal type, and the metal type is type high. It's all the same height. And what they've done is they've prepared a wood block, which is carved on wood that is going to be the same height, the same way that the British early newspapers and British magazines did all through the 1800s into the 1900s. This is a woodblock print, but not printed with a baron as a woodblock print. It's carved in the normal way we carve these things, and then the block is put into the printing press together with the type, and bang, 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 away they print it. So
How much pressure do those metal type things
I know
use?
nothing about that at all. You tell me. It's like a Heidelberg thing, right? It's either plate and type or the thing rolls across it, whatever. I don't know anything about that. But the block there
fine lines.
is a piece of wood. The same way that in the West they did it. And these little cuts, all the little cuts all the way through, the same as in the West with wood engraving, this will have been done the same way. This will be a little piece of wood carved with a design and dropped into the book. And advertisements, the advertisements are all about sake. This is Gekkeikan. This is the kind of sake, you can buy this overseas now still. These were the first sake people that really started exporting sake overseas, Gekkeikan. It's not a very high-class sake here in Japan, but it's hugely popular overseas.
Excited man.
And I don't know anything about the stories. It's literary stuff. It's mostly theatrical. Here we are. It's all about the booze.
There's some real difference in the quality of the art in this. The advertiser who sprang for a nice artist.
You tell me, or they just use cuts. They use little scraps of wood that have, they've got a drawer full of these little images that they just use. Okay, these are, as we said, the first one was the Shogatsu, New Year's. The second one was Haru no Maki. This would be the spring issue. I'm not sure if they're in order here. The one I just looked at a moment ago was Aki no Maki, autumn. This one we haven't looked at. This is Fuyu no Maki. This is winter. And there must be a summer one here. No, I don't see a summer one. This is Ume no Maki, which also would seem to imply spring. So I don't know the order. Oshogatsu, Ume, Haru, spring, Aki, and then Fuyu. And whether we have a full set or the summer one is missing, I really don't know.
It fits in the box.
But the box, this could have been something that somebody made for it later. This may not have been part of an original publication. In fact, almost certainly it wasn't. This is a monthly magazine, and there's no way I think that they would be making little things. This is somebody, a collector later on. Well, no, maybe not. Because it says, Taisho Rokunen Kamigata Shumi Zen, as in complete set. So yes, this may be perhaps the company, a year later when they're selling it as back numbers, perhaps the company puts them out in sets. Quite possible. Let's have a look.
Spring. Wow.
What have we got here? This is, I see.
So how would this work? Advertisers would send in a pre-carved wood block and get it printed, or would they have to have the design sent in and then it would be printed afterwards?
I imagine that advertisers wouldn't do their own production. The woodblock production would be tied together with the bookmaking. I'm speculating here. This is the same company, Daimaru, so they would have made the contract for the year, they would have bought the inside cover for the year, and the publishing company would have arranged for the woodblock printing work, the carving and printing. The ad copy must have come from Daimaru, pretty much the same as these days. I don't think Daimaru would have had anything to do with making woodblock prints and sending them in to be bound together, because it's part of the production process.
What's this one, winter or the New Year?
This one is winter. This will be the last one in the set. And yeah, was the picture?
What's it? The bat.
Pardon me?
The front page, the first page. It was the bat, right? He's inside the bat. That's usually for.
Yeah, that's a New Year picture. Yes. So. Oops.
Are they at the end of the year? It's the beginning of the year.
Maybe. Don't know. And they're beautifully, beautifully made. Just gorgeously made. They went on auction last week or so. The guy put the 5 of them up as separate auctions. and nobody else was interested. I think one person bid the base price 1,000 yen on a couple of them and ignored the rest. And I picked them up, 1,000 yen each.
Well,
Oh,
this is a
look,
white
look,
one.
look, 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 look. Look at this. See what they've done?
Yes.
Ha! A double fold out. Playboy, eat your heart out.
You've got the bare feet there.
And these are sea bream, very expensive fish. And all of these, the fold outs, have the advertising too, from, it seems like, an association of sake makers. This is not one sake company, I think, I'm not quite sure. Or maybe it is, maybe it's a brand name. But this also is mixed in with a sake advertisement.
Corinne's saying that the previous one also had a double fold out.
Did I miss it? Okay, have a look, Jonathan.
Ah, yes,
Look
it
at
did.
that, I missed it, okay. Should we open it up there? Okay. Yes, look at this. I totally
Well
missed that.
spotted.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
It's in black scroll.
Oh, it's lettering, it's a letter. You can imagine, you subscribe to this magazine, and every now and then you see this thing in your mailbox. You open up your mailbox and you sit here and you have a look at it and enjoy the prints, read the stories.
So she looks to be an oida, right?
That's the hairstyles and stuff. Definitely, this is a professional lady. So we're talking about the world of the theater and the brothels. Yes, absolutely. So. This is Haru no Maki, the spring issue.
It's a lovely front cover. That.
So nicely done, but they're not all interesting. So maybe Daimaru only sprang for 2 of them this year. Daimaru didn't want to sponsor this one. I don't know. They couldn't. They didn't manage to sell the inside cover. Maybe their advertising was too expensive. I don't know. Another one. There's some. Oh, wait. Is that
We've
the
done
same?
this one. Yeah, this is the sea bream one. So
no.
next is this one. We did this one. And then we went back.
Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Look at this. I saw this on the auction listing. We are going to have a horizontal. I've got to be careful. Some of this paper is old paper. There we are. Look at this.
Wow.
No way.
Is that just the lighting, or is it really sparkling?
There is sparkle. It's the paper has a. You can see even in the outside the print area, right? Does it show?
Ah, it's in the paper, yeah.
It's in the paper.
Not so sure about. Is that
Huh?
a cloud or a river? That blue cloud in front.
No,
It's
it's
a bit
just it's
lazy.
the old Byobu painting style. They used to put these shapes in front just to hide things. They would be up in the sky or down at the bottom. It was a style. It's a stylistic convention.
But you don't often see them in the.
In ukiyo-e prints, no, not this year. So, and there's no designer's name on this. It's just a title. I can read some of the characters. It's on a plum. It's by something. View of a plum blossom. No, it's a view of a plum garden. And there's no designer's name listed. And the novels, I have no idea. They're either talking about what's going on the theater these days, or
Someone's asking about the
Right,
kanji. Is it older kanji, or is it readable by
you mean in the
listener?
text of the book? We can read this. Anybody can read this. No, this is normal now printed text that any educated Japanese person can read. And in fact,
There's lots of furigana as well.
there's lots of furigana. Everything has furigana on this. Absolutely everything. So this is readable by anybody now. Absolutely everybody. This is the era of mandatory education, and everybody can read, and they've helped out. Even the kanji that are a bit difficult, they all have furigana, yomikata, ruby, attached to them.
How much would one of these cost?
In its day, there is a price list at the back here. The things are all listed. Unfortunately, we're looking at the old money here, so I can't actually translate to you how much this would cost to us, but the prices are here. Hang on, where are we here? I don't know. I can't read it. I'm sorry. Like, for example, they're talking about the year before stuff to buy 6 issues. Kane. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't read this. Some of them are Yonsen. Yon-en. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Not too expensive though. But these seem a bit more niche than some of the other ones.
Yeah,
So-
I can't say this is not something totally
Who's buying
upscale
all
and
these?
really expensive, nor is it cheap junk. They were maybe the same price per value that a literary magazine would cost today. I don't know. Oh, have a look. Yeah, just a bit. Can you show us pictures?
Another fold out. Big advertisement, big money. Sake?
Yeah, okay, it's another sake advertisement. So.
Yeah, no delicate printing on the press. This is very modern.
Somebody wants to see the price list. Okay, hang on a sec then. If you can you hold the price page there so it's readable for people? Maybe they can get a screenshot of it or something like that. A bit more to the right. That's your area here. That's your area. It's also not focusing. Pull back a bit. Yeah, okay, we got it there. It's in focus. All right. Is it readable there? Somebody says they can read Japanese much more than I can. Right. It's funny though too. It says on the right hand side there. It says Maitsuki shuppan nen rokkai. That's the contradiction in terms. It says published every month and then in a year 6 times. So I don't really know what that means. I don't know. Sorry. Okay. So there we have it, a nice little set. There's a couple of things to say about this. We have in our collection, we have, if I switch cameras for a second, just a moment here. Let me switch cameras. We have actually in our collection a lot of these magazines. And the magazine, it changed format as the years went by. This is the same one. This is Kamigata Shumi, the same magazine, but they have now changed into a different physical format. This is some years later. This one is, let me find a date, 1 second please. This one is Taisho 8. So this is a few years later. The physical format has changed. We have a few more here. This is Taisho. These are earlier than the one I have just showed you. And there was, the magazine became defunct at some point and it was reinvigorated as a similar magazine, but not quite the same. A magazine of Kamigata history and arts. And these ones were fully printed by offset printing, but every one has a woodblock print stuck on the front cover. They're still keeping the tradition at least going in part of having woodblock prints. And that was stuck on the front cover of every one of those magazines. So, but the inside is completely
This is much more of a Western type of magazine.
well, times are going by. This is Showa now. This is Showa 6. So the need for the magazine is still there, but there's no way they could make a whole magazine with that much woodblock printing involved. So. Okay, throw it back on the stand there, sir, if you can.
The big ones.
And just put it back on the stand here, just finish off with you. Okay, so there we have it. It's been a bit of a mixed stream. I myself, I'm sorry, I very much missed. I can't handle questions or anything today. We'll have a read through it later. And Taran-san and I, we have now a lot of work in front of us because we have 100 or so wet prints that we have to get dried carefully. Yeah. And then we'll head to the food trucks down the street here. Okay. Thanks very much. I'll see you in 3 days on Thursday morning for me. Not sure what I'll be doing. Same thing always, we will find something. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming along to help. It's really, really helped. We got a ton more work done.
It's good fun.
So, a ton more work done. I'm sorry, maybe let's charge it up. Let's do some more. And, you get your hands in here. Okay, bye for now. Thank you very much. Okay.
Bye.